Liadh Ní Riada I'm from the Gaeltacht area of Cooley Balavorna, Musgrave Gaeltacht. It's been my absolute honour to have served over the last 5 years as a Sinn Féin MEP for Ireland South. I hope to continue on a lot of the work that I've started. In that work in the last 5 years, I'm consistently ranked in the top 2 in terms of being the hardest working MEP in Ireland and 5th out of 751 MEPs when it comes to productivity and legislation. That doesn't come about by sitting and twiddling your thumbs. So it was a real challenge, but it was also a huge eye-opener, and I believe there's an awful lot that we can do to protect Ireland's interests. And this is really about being Ireland's voice in the EU and not the EU's voice in Ireland. It's always about, is this going to be good for our rural communities? Is it going to be good for our coastal communities? And I always think about individuals that I have met throughout my years, and is it going to serve them? I've sat on the Budgets Committee as a coordinator and on the Fisheries Committee and also on the Culture and Education Committee. Regarding the Budgets Committee, it's really important that there's continuity in that because we're looking at the next 7 years and what that's going to bring. Obviously Brexit having a huge impact on that. And over that 5 years you also build up credibility with other MEPs. Some of the things that I'm very, very vocal about going forward is that we absolutely have to protect our neutrality and our sovereignty. We see a move towards militarisation, 13 billion going towards the creation of an EU army. We can't have that. We need to ensure that there's a fair balanced budget, that CAP isn't going to be impacted on or any of the structural funds for that. And we need to have a far more regional balance in terms of where we're putting investment because rural Ireland, as we know, is being dismantled. We don't have broadband services, we have a housing crisis. And on that alone, I'm not just an MEP. I'm very much a campaigning MEP. I've stood with people on marches, whether it's to do with housing or healthcare or mental health issues. So you have to have that connection between Ireland and Europe. You can't become an MEP just to disappear off to some train in Brussels and never again be seen. That's not the way Sinn Féin works. We're very much a team. So when you vote for Sinn Féin, you're not only voting for the MEP, but you're also getting the local councillor, you're getting your TD, and it's very much that local, national and European drive that makes us so successful and effective as MEPs, and hopefully we'll continue to do that. When the Brexit vote was cast, we were the first out of the traps in terms of Sinn Féin MEPs to ensure that we were looking for a special designated status for the 6 counties. They need democratic representation. And for me, being on the Fisheries Committee, again, it's about protecting the rights that we do have. We're going to see perhaps an awful lot of boats coming in, getting more of the quota, which we already have a very, very thin slice of the quota. So it's really important that we argue and have a fair deal for our coastal communities in Ireland, and fisheries has always been neglected. I have had some very, very, very good amendments and legislation through protecting our industry, but more needs to be done. I would urge anybody to look at my website and see that track record to inform themselves about what we have done in that. Maidir le cuasaí Gaeilge gan dát lárm Gaeilge gcónaíonn in Parliament. Is Gaeil Gorme agus leanna mé raig taú leis an tanga agus ag taú len ar bhéanúlacht an is go bhfuil míad go láidir mohon san agus gá Gaelach a bheith san orb. So Levordáil a cháirde tá gur ceist, I'm asking again and I'm appealing to you, and I would be incredibly grateful if you would give me Iver Hain #1 on the 24th of May if you want to have a strong Republican voice in Europe, fighting your corner, fighting to retain our sovereignty and our neutrality and fighting for all of our rights. Then send a Gá Gaelach Liadh Ní Riada back into the Parliament.